A very good morning and a warm welcome to this session of data structures. I am Dr. R. Vidya, Assistant Professor in the Department of CSE of HiSET. The content for this session is as follows. First, it is introduction to data structures, then the necessity or need of data structures, following which we'll discuss about the applications of data structures. We'll also deal with the different types of data structures, linked list, necessity of linked list, operations on the linked list, types of linked list, and applications of linked list. So here we are learning what is data and why data structures is essential, what is the necessity, what are the applications, etc. We all know data is useful information which has to be collected, stored and retrieved whenever it is necessary. So all the algorithms, all the techniques in the modern world, including machine learning, deep learning, all kinds of artificial intelligence, everything evolve around data. Only for the efficient and effective utilization of data what we have, we devise all these new techniques. So data is so important, and hence data structures also is a very important subject to be learnt. So before getting into deep learning of data structures, let us understand what actually data structures mean. That is, now you can have a look at these two images. Both are containing data. It's a newspaper in your left and the dictionary in the right. So what's the basic difference between them? Think about it. So having learned that, we will get into learning what exactly is the definition for data structures. And as I already discussed with you, it is one of the most fundamental subject in computer science, and you should have an in-depth understanding of this data structures, especially when you are into development or programming domain. So by definition, a data structure is nothing but it's a data organization, management and storage format that enables efficient access and modification. So in simple words, you can always say data structure is a way in which data is stored in a computer. So how we are storing it in the computer so that it will be utilized effectively as well as efficiently. Now, again, we'll discuss why do we need data structures. So, as we said, it's a particular way of storing and organizing information in a computer so that it can be retrieved and used most productively. So, each data structure allows the data to be stored in a specific manner. You have a different type of organizing the data for each data structure. So data structure allows efficient data search and retrieval. So depending on the type of data organization, your searching speed, your searching efficiency will vary, and hence you can go for a easy retrieval of data. And specific data structure are decided to work for specific problems. So when you have to solve certain problems for different kinds of problems, you will have to store your data differently in the form of a different data structure. It allows to manage large amount of data such as large databases and indexing services such as hash table. So you have different kinds of data structures which will support storage of large amount of data. As we all know, social media like Facebook, Twitter, etc., or even networking, where lot of machines are connected together to form a single network and then to the internet. So all these data has to be stored efficiently so that it can be retrieved and used productively. So for such kind of storage, you will have to have a specific data structure which supports this big storage. And one example of such data structure is your hash table. Now getting on to applications of data structures. So where all in real life, where all you apply these data structures. You just imagine the leaderboard of a game. So the leaderboard of a game will contain the points or the score scored by different players in that game, and it can be also arranged in a descending order to show who have won the game, etc. So the leaderboard of a game is an excellent example for arrays of data structure. Next, like if you're going to view certain images in an image viewer, you can always go for the previous image as well as the next image. So one particular image will be connected to both the previous image as well as the next image, and that is possible in case of a linked list data structure. And similarly, the forward and backward surfing of a browser. So if you are using a browser, you can always go back to the previous page as well as you can come back to the next page. Okay, so this forward backward surfing in a browser is an example of data structure. Then like whenever we request a server, so different requests or lot of requests are given to a server, these requests will be queued up, where queue is a specific form of data structure. GPS navigation system is using one kind of data structure, and domain name server also uses tree data structure. So these are the different applications, real-time applications of data structures. Next, we are discussing the type of data structures. We have different types of data structures, especially we have two types, which is linear data structure and the other one is non-linear data structure. Linear data structure means the data are structured or organized in a sequential manner, one after the another. Whereas non-linear data structure, each element can be connected to every other element in different ways. There is no sequential order which is followed. So here we are going to learn about the most basic type of linear data structure, which is linked list. So first, let me give you a comparison between the arrays and the linked list. So why you go for linked list? So the necessity of going into linked list comes with the disadvantages of arrays. We all know arrays can be used to store linear data of similar data type, but we have certain limitations in the case of arrays. First and foremost thing is the size of the array is fixed. So you have to, before even defining or before even using an array in your program, you have to fix the size of the array. So you should know the upper limit on the number of elements in advance. Also, it is very clear that the allocated memory for that particular array will be equal to the upper limit. For example, when I say I have to enter the marks of 100 students, okay, then the upper limit of my array will be 100. I can enter only 100 marks, because the marks will be of the same data type and I can use an array to represent the marks of students. But my limitation is I should in advance define the maximum limit or the upper limit of the array. Now if I want to insert a new element in this array, then that becomes very expensive, because I have to create a place or I have to create a space for the new element, and I have to adjust the existing elements or shift the existing element in the array. So this is the major limitation in case of an array, which is overcome in case of a linked list. So let us look at that. Before that, we are dealing with an example, that is, if you are going to maintain a sorted list of IDs, like you have different IDs of people or employees in an array, and you can look at these IDs. It is 1000, 1010, 1050, 2000 and 2040 are different IDs, and I have represented using an array. Okay. Now, if I have to insert a new element inside this array, for example, I have to insert a new ID 1005 in that array, then what should I do is I should shift all the remaining elements after 1000, and then I have to insert this element. Okay, so that becomes very expensive. Similarly, deletion of an element in the array also becomes expensive. In order to overcome all these limitations, we introduce, or we go into what we call as linked list. Okay, so linked list, the main advantage of linked list is it is of dynamic size. So it can grow, the size can grow or the size can shrink depending upon the number of data to be stored. And insertion or deletion of an element in a linked list becomes very easy. So linked list, as explained earlier, it is a linear data structure. It is following a sequence, but they are not stored in contiguous location, just like arrays. Okay, whereas the elements in a linked list are linked using pointers. So look at this image. So you have 4 elements in this linked list, and each linked list contains 2 fields. One is a data field, the other one is a pointer field. This is a singly linked list, so you have one pointer. You can see this data is represented as the head of the linked list, and next is the pointer, which will point the next data in the linked list. So the pointer of this data will point the next data of the linked list. Similarly, the pointer of the second element will point the next data of the linked list. Then the last linked list pointer field will be null, which represents that this is the last element of that particular linked list. Having learnt the difference between the arrays and the linked list, advantages of the linked list, how a linked list is represented using data element and pointer, what are the different types of linked list, singly linked list, doubly linked list, circular linked list, and the basic operations done on a linked list, we get into the applications of the linked list. There are various real-time applications. The first one, what we can learn is an image viewer. If you are using an image viewer to view the images, you can always traverse to the previous image as well as the next image, and that shows the linked list. Web pages can be accessed using previous and next URL links, which are linked using linked list. Similarly, the music players also use the same technique to switch between these music. To keep the track of turns in a multiplayer game, a circular linked list is used. Thank you all.